WDUP, New London's home of timeless hip hop and R&B. It's your boy Mike Mitch Eel. Special guest checking in. Rebel Ray, how are you? How things going?
Excellent. Supreme.
Thanks for checking in with us. You know what I'm saying? Plus to have you on there. You got the new record Layover, which you're going to debut on 929 right after this interview. Talk about the record a little bit, how it came about.
So I was on tour and, had a little situation back in LA and we was fighting, we was beefing. Because
no, you ain't gonna boss over there. What's up, man? Nah, I'm joking, man. Go ahead. You ain't got
no. As a musician, you deal with, if you're in relationships, your other half often is going to get in their feelings because you be gone for unmeasurable amount of times. So I actually left for Thanksgiving and I was supposed to go on the tour, come back for Christmas, and I ended up gone for 3 months. So, people get sensitive about that kind of thing, I guess. So I actually wrote it on a train in London as a poem, like just dry, just getting it out. And then like maybe 2021, early 2021, I just got sent, like a couple records and I was just listening through them, thumbing through. And I was just like, I heard that record and I was just like, no way, no way. Cause right away, like, even though it was a poem, like the melody came to my head and I was like, no way, like it fit word for word perfectly, but it did. So that's how Layover came about.
Who produced the record? You got like a team of producers and all that?
I guess I do have a team of producers. They don't exclusively work for me. They're not just my producers. Like I'm not.
I try to give you a chance to flex. Like yeah.
I'm not running camps like Beyonce, but my producer's out of Detroit. His name is Jerry Parker, and no, I've never actually met him in person. It was one of those like send beat pack situations. So I got a few beats from him. Yeah. And it just worked out. He has that Detroit sauce. So I love an instrumental that has something more to it, like something that has like a dip in the old school, a dip of something different. And I feel like that's what this track had. So
yeah. Do you know it's a big difference actually being in the studio with a producer or getting it sent back through email? Is there a difference at all?
Oh yeah, there's so many differences. Yeah, because I've built beats from scratch for some of my songs. Like I'm a lyricist first, so I do come in hot with lyrics a lot of the time. Like I'll be like,
hold up, you got bars though? Like yo, you want to talk about that? Your name Rebel Ray, you know what I'm saying? Like, you say you got lyrics, you know what I mean? You don't hear like songwriters like yo, I'm a songwriter. You say you got lyrics.
I'm a songwriter. Yeah, so I come in with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'll come in with usually like a first verse and a hook, and then we'll build a track around what I already kind of have. If I'm comfortable with somebody, like the person working in the other room, I'll give them some grace, work from scratch. I can write from scratch. It's not necessary, but a lot of the times, like I have so many songs, even right now, just sitting in my voice memos, sitting everywhere, because I'm really inspired by the world. Like some people are inspired by other music. Some songwriters are inspired by like tracks they hear. I'm inspired by like having a texting fight while on a train in London, So like, I write as soon as I feel it. Like I can be watching The Notebook and I'll have to pause the movie because like a song comes out. So I have to find a way to get those songs to the people. So I can't always work within the parameters of the industry, getting beats sent to me and having producers play me all their beats they already made, because it's like, I got something already made. We got to write something to that. So yeah, I work many different ways.
So yo, describe your sound, like, the Layover record we gonna premiere, it got a real soulful feel to it. You got a unique voice, it sounds great. Like describe your sound for those who may not be up on you right now.
Okay, so I would say I have R&B roots. Like everything's gonna touch back to R&B. I'm pop at heart. So we got, it's fun, it's something for the people. But then my actual singing voice, my actual sound and how I learned to sing comes a lot from jazz. and comes a lot from deep and older soul. So, you know, like imagine Ella Fitzgerald on a pop R&B track.
Hey, how many artists I am putting that combo together? You know, that nah, that's dope. Matter of fact, do you feel like that's kind of missing right now? Like people
Oh yeah,
who artists that's coming out?
I mean, no, I don't feel like it's missing. I feel like I'm here.
Oh no, other than you. I'm talking about just in general.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was listening to some stuff today, talking to a friend, and I was like, you know, it's a really shame because a lot of these people sound alike. It actually took me a while too. Like, this isn't even braggadocious, because when I was coming up and first started singing, people all the time were like, your tone is great, your tone is great. And me being new, I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, they'd be like, you know, your tone is great, but you're not, this was early days, don't judge me, but like, your tone is great, but you're not hitting the note, or your tone is great, but you need like better lyrics. You know, I was new and I had no clue what tone meant, but now I really get it. Like, tone is that sound that you can't erase. It's just in you. Yeah. So for me, I'm really not trying to sing like nobody. And I didn't really grow up like trying to mimic anybody. I just had people that I loved, and all of them happened to have unique sounds. So yeah, I definitely feel like my sound is missing because I don't feel like it exists. Yeah. I feel like it's just mine. You know, some songs, some flows, like, could you relate me to other people? Can you group me in? Sure, we're together, but I don't sound like anybody. I sound like me. That's it.
How do you navigate through people who actually, you know, got something to actually be offer you, and then some people that's just like noise in the background, like, oh, you should sing it like this, and you know, like you mentioned, like people commenting on your tone and stuff like that. Like, how do you decipher, like, I respect this person right here, they on to something, and this person, it's like,
time.
All right.
So, time and wisdom. Time and wisdom. Yeah, you know, at first you definitely get in your feelings, but you get in the booth enough, you sing enough, you practice enough, you get experience, like, you just get a sureness to who you are and what you are. I'm always open to critique. You could say your piece. I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna go through your history. Like, I'm an Instagram sleuth. So I'm gonna see who you are, see if you just talking.
I am too, and I got a question later, but we're gonna get to that. But yep, go ahead.
Like, I want to know if you're just talking, if you got experience. Are you somebody I like respect? Not just because like I've been told to respect you, but I like respect your history, respect where you're coming from. Like, I'm not insecure anymore. Like, I'm not a child. So, which is really lucky. Like, a lot of people I think nowadays get like pushed in at 19 and like they're really easily influenced. But I'm like 26, so you can't.
Grown ass woman, you can't tell her.
You can't just,
her skin out here. You know.
Yeah, you can't just toss your toss your feelings in there and expect me to just like receive them. Wow. So yeah, I'm just sure. You just have to be sure. And then you have to be willing to listen to people and then go research it. Like, if you say something and it really gets to me, I'm going to look it up. Yeah. And then I'll know if it's fugazi or if there's some truth to it.
All right. So let's kind of like dip back into your background. Like, how long you been active in this game right now? Like, how'd you get your start? You know, talk about the genesis of Rebel Ray out here.
The genesis, that goes too far back. But I've been singing, like, I wrote and performed my first song when I was 14 on a stage in New York. So I would say like that was the genesis. That was like I always knew, you know, I was like writing songs and I was a little songbird, but you know, that first show like locked it in. So we can say I started at 14. Okay. And then the journey's been flowing ever since. I actually thought I was gonna be on Broadway.
Well, like, so you got some acting chops too? Like, you got
for sure. For sure.
I can see it. I can tell by your mannerism and all that. I can tell. I see.
Yeah, like, I'm ready for the script. I'm ready for my movie. Yeah. So my roots were in acting. I was singing because I thought I was gonna be on stage singing. Mm-hmm. And that's probably where the writing style came from, because I was writing like, you know, like actors write, like it's for a script for a movie. That's where most of my songs come from. But then, yeah, I came out to LA. I went to school for fashion. Then I was like, I'm not going to do that. And I was still a, I forget what they call it, like a novice. Like I no training, like no real reason to be there. And then some people just heard me sing. They invited me into the studio, and I was like humming in the background, and they were like, if you're going to hum, put some words on this track. And just a little bit after that, I discovered my now management record company, Benin City. Well, he discovered me. And the rest is history. Been singing ever since.
I know you mind mentioning your whole background. Where you from? And why? Like, you want to get in particular? You know what I mean? You want to talk about it a little bit?
I'm so sorry. I have not shouted out my city yet.
Sorry, get to it. I'm angling to it.
Shout out to the DMV, specifically DC and Virginia, Maryland, and cool too. That's where I'm from. Those are my roots. Those are my people. Okay. And you know, that's a music. If anybody's been to DC, they know it's a music city. So yeah, that's a city that bred me, that taught me. And music is so intrinsic to that city that's why a lot of musical people come out of it.
Yeah. So you call yourself Rebel Ray. Like, who you rebelling against? You know what I mean? Talk about the actual name itself. Like, who you rebelling against right now?
I'm rebelling against all of you.
All right. Short answer.
Everybody's on the list. Everybody's
all y'all can catch it. Word. All y'all catch it.
You know, Rage Against the Machine. No, that was it. I'm rebelling against all of you. Social norms, political constructs, you know, don't get me started on the politics. That's the whole first album. Expectations. Like, I chose Rebel. Ray is my name, but I chose Rebel because I actually in the beginning chose it because I felt like I was at the time reading a lot of autobiographies, and a lot of people were talking about how they got duped or how they got changed and all of that. And I was like, if I put Rebel in my name, I can never change who I am without people reminding me that I changed who I am, you know? So I was like, I'm going to put it there as like, as a stamp, like, we're going to be rebellious for life, baby.
Yeah, they were.
And yeah, so it's just a dedication to not conforming in whatever form that means for me at whatever block of my life.
Yeah. So you might mention it in passing, like any upcoming projects, albums you want to discuss a little bit in detail?
Oh, we have a lot. We have
that's what we here for.
It's like it's Stay Tuned Central right now, because we were just talking the other day, like something's gonna drop next month, something's gonna drop the month after that. Like we dropping into the new year. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you exactly, because you know, musicians, I tend to have a big mouth, so I don't want to overshare what I shouldn't share, but I can say for sure that something's gonna drop ASAP. Like, Layover's out now. We're giving it its time to shine. I love it, but it's not even the best, you know, like it's not even the best.
Stay tuned, yo.
Yeah, we grow. So so it's only gonna elevate from here. So stay tuned for sure.
All right, so now I'm hearing you over here, you know, traveling internationally. You know, talk about some of your domestic shows, international shows. Like, what's on deck for you? What's going on for Rebel Ray?
I'm worldwide.
All right.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, that wasn't even on purpose. The world just was like, please, we need you everywhere. Wait, you want to talk about future shows?
I heard you go to the UK, Europe, you know, talk about that.
Oh, like, yeah, I be in UK like a lot. Like, I did the math. And since 2017, yeah, that was my first trip there. I have spent a year total in the UK.
How you like it out there?
But like a year total, just being there. I was there in March. Like, I just be there. They like me there.
Hey, wow.
Yeah,
how you enjoyed it out there though? Like,
I love the UK. Like, I don't want to side with the colonizers, but but they really be loving me out there. I really wanted to say something different, but you asked me not to cuss, so I was back in. But no, the UK, that's my place. Like, I don't know at what point or what part, but those are my people somehow, some way. Like, it's just, you know, when you go somewhere and things just flow. Like the minute I touched down in the UK, it started flowing like that. So I love the UK. And then like my first tour being there in Europe was like coincidence. So and then it was crazy because like I knew I had some footing in the UK, knew I had some footing in France, which it's very interesting. It's a lot like America, like each country is just so different. You get different audiences, different people, different reactions, but I really wasn't expecting them to like know me. You know, I thought it was an introduction, but then you got to Sweden and they're like singing lyrics back to me. And I'm like, who are you people? Why you know me like that? So, but I will say this, just blanketed over all performances and shows, it's both a unique and similar experience. Like it's just, and that's honestly the best thing about being like an international musician with shows all over the world. Like you get the same vibes at a LA show that you get at a New York show that you get at a Switzerland show, which is just like people coming together to vibe and like have similar experiences.
Hey, talking about colonizers, like, yo, you performing at the Capitol, talk about that, you know?
How's that? Like I said, like don't let me get in my political bag. That was my first performance in my home city. Like I had never performed in DC because I came straight to LA. So like all of my performing was in LA. I was up in Oakland. So when I got to the Capitol, so that was actually for the climate march, like the big climate march that was on every single TV show. And what had happened was there was a young songwriter / amazing guitar player. She's now at Berkeley up in Boston, but she hit me up because I was making so much political music, asking if we could like just work together. And in that process, she ended up telling so many of her young friends about me, including the climate march people, that they all found out about me. So they hit me up and they were like, we've been looking for somebody who's been doing this, been making music in this field. You know, like, I don't want to talk about everybody else, but a lot of people hopped on the bandwagon around 2017, 2018, 2020.
Talk about opening for Ari Lennox, you know what I mean? Talk about some of like other shows you might have opened up for like, you know, well-established artists and everything like that.
Yeah, so Ari was a really fun situation because, you know, we grew up like from the same area in DC, which being from the DMV, like that's like being from like the same area, that's like a special situation. Like usually you're like Maryland versus Virginia. And it was just a very nice introduction because she was my first tour, and opening for her was just cool. It was just fun. It was just vibes, you know? Like I feel like she little sistered me a little bit, like in a good way, you know, like it was very much like homely vibes. Like I just had heard so many horror stories from people of their first tours and opening for people. And I was like, can't relate. Still can't. I opened recently in New York for Bilal. Like that was an amazing, being an opening artist can be really fun because you end up meeting people that you usually wouldn't necessarily like cross paths with if it wasn't like an award show, you know? Like you end up connecting on a different level, seeing how they do things, seeing ropes. Like it's like, because I was a fashion intern, this is where my mind jumps to, but it's a very like interny experience, but in the best of ways for me. Some people, I don't know. But everybody's audiences have been cool. All the people have been cool. The stages, the locations, like it's just been amazing.
Hey, so I was doing some research. Like you said, you were IG sleuth. You know what I mean? I hopped in joint real quick. Hey, I see Miss Wallace, Maletta Wallace on your joint. I see, you know what I'm saying? Wayne Barrow, you know, if y'all know who they are. I mean, of course you know Maletta Wallace, Wayne Barrows, you know what I mean, Biggie's manager. You know, talk about your connections to that family, you know what I'm saying? And talk about how y'all, you know, kind of got in contact with each other. And
you know, those are my people. Biggie is
that's my goat. You know what I mean?
That's your goat.
That's why I had to ask that question.
Biggie, who, if anybody doesn't know, you should know, is Valletta Wallace's son. Mm-hmm. And he is with Benin City, which is also my record company. So that's it. That's what happened. I met all these people through my record company. Shout out to Benin City. Yeah, that's the plug. But these people have been great to me. Yeah, like they're awesome people. They're really like me and I don't know if Miss Wallace follows everybody she meets, but me and her really connected on some gardening talk. I like, I live in LA. I like a plant. So we were talking about gardening, and yeah, like she's cool people. I like older generations. Like I like what they had to say, what they've experienced. Like my favorite person in the world is my grandfather. So yeah, me and her just vibed. We just vibed. I think we met at I know we met at the Biggie night at Barclays. That was like put on by my mind's going blank. Put on by that Brooklyn team, Brooklyn Nets.
Hey,
Brooklyn
Nets. BK, Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Hey, talk about that event. We kind of, we got like maybe 5 minutes left. But like, talk about that experience being there and the interaction with everybody during that event.
Oh, that was the best. That was the night you mentioned Cassie earlier. That was the night.
Yeah. New London.
Yeah. Shout out to New London.
Word.
Look, London coming back into the picture. But no, that was the night I met Cassie. That was the night I met Miss Wallace. That was the night I met Mary J and Faith. Like that was a crazy night. And it was a night about big, but it was a big night for me, to be corny. And it was legendary. It was right. Like Biggie deserves all the praise he's gotten over the years. So it was nice to be a part of something like that. And it's really nice, like bringing it back to Wayne, who I've also known for years. I met him way before Miss Wallace. I feel like he was like one of the first people to give the stamp of approval on me.
That's dope.
Yeah, and he's been a brother since, but like seeing what they've done for Biggie and his legacy, Benin City, Wayne Barrows, Mr. Osagi, like as an artist who can only hope to be one day as big as Biggie, you hope that your legacy is continued on with people like this, like they've kept his name alive.
Oh,
period.
Word.
Period.
Well, we at 25 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the music is locked in. I mean, he's kept himself alive, but like, what other team is doing what they do for a legacy artist?
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
I ain't seen it. Like they do monitor. I think they just did like an NFT. Like they're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it. Word.
Yeah.
So before we get into the layover record, again, it's a pleasure to have you on here, Rebel Ray. Give all your info out and then, talk about the record, before we get into it. You know what I'm saying? The layover record on 929.
Yeah. Hello, Connecticut and others. I'm Rebel Ray. You can find me at Rebel Ray Music on Instagram, Miss Rebel Ray on Twitter, type Rebel Ray on Google, find all my stuff. It's only me out there, so you'll see me. And this record is Layover. It is one of the records we're releasing for my upcoming album. It was written in London. It is about somebody missing you back home and you trying to get back to them. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's a closing out the summertime type of record.
Yeah, perfect time. Let's get into it right now. Rebel Ray, thanks again for checking in with us. We'd love to have you back as soon as you got any more endeavors going on. You already know what it is.